sonam ge androla sanje druparsho. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness which is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness which is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. And then page 16, request for teachings. Please turn the wheel of the Dharma of the two vehicles and their combination according to the dispositions and mental capacities of sentient beings. Good evening and good afternoon. Kini konso tanda tanginga to kong to mato segmera tanila shajo tizuna. So before we get started on the teachings this afternoon, if anybody has any questions or comments or anything that we would, based on the teachings from this morning, anything that's come up that you would like to clarify, we can begin with a little bit of question and answer. And
hi, it's Ginger Applegarth. Hi, Drupon.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. I had a question about this morning, and this is because I'm dealing with an individual who has these difficulties at this moment, and you talk about the mind-created illness. And I've been trying to figure this out to figure out how best to provide compassion, but also not enable this person. There seems to be a psychosomatic attachment to attention, and using illness as a way to get attention. Now, I've had severe chronic pain for 28 years, and I know that I'm very careful. I rarely talk about it because I don't want to create any drama. It's just something that happened. Probably, I must have had a hell of a time in a prior life because to have this now. But the point is, this person, everything is very dramatic, and there is a deep need for attention and for compliments about how this person is managing his or her medical situation, which is virtually non-existent. And I know because I've been a friend of this person for many years, and I'm actually not quite sure what to do, how to best be of benefit to someone who has this grasping. I mean, when I think about it, I almost think of like a hungry ghost just grasping and grasping and grasping out of need for something that actually will not fulfill her, will not help her progress. Does that make sense?
I'm getting a gear go good.
Yeah, please do.
So, the log you to moche your usarewa. Then the natsa che you natsa the pacher sim nangla so sim zogi sare. Yang de zoegi yumsen morangi sambala ne shimbagi pena me shimba morang kare lago kare attention cheyaki chidu zogi roa. Dinin so rangi natsa pena mishima o tape simdal cheya rokpa cheya la sopa. Dini yang gadi yena morang tesa dinda dunda tesa chung che gadi yena tesa chimpo drawo dinda ha leya drawo dinda nang shing zogi ore. Dang deep gi mila Dini morang la tes kale kapo yore lapardu gain tina morangi ngola nunegi natsa yoroa be lo mambo natsa yore gadiana de zupola zir sorgi yore dini pena shimba de yang natsa nune demba nunegi natsa mebe kala yang garela gogere zoba gomyala tes kale kapo chagi yosare dini morang gare che go cheya yena hakogyo mare lapardu garsi penade morang de meshamba de lape zimba chimboyo sare dini de zimba de young yeah.
I would also just sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's
I probably sorry to run. Nothing is enough. No attention is enough. It can't. And so anyway, how does one help in this situation without encourage it, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
No, right. Re ta chita re na ta di tanjing nga zo kong zo tarang nga zo shurwa ta ko re na ta ngoni physical ke na ta da yorwa yina yang konga he karse ta ko ik sem ke teng ne tili je ta na gi yowa ta ga na yi ki ke be karse na koran so ran so ngone ji Nasa Kaya Mewaji, so Tobia Dawoji, Shimbek Ropachini, Thomas on so Royal Dawoji, Tindije Kitako, Kasegore, expecting to Yorwa, Yina Yang Pota, Tindike, Mone Rank Juleji, Gomda with job, except she Tindi Magivina, Tindije 그 그뒤는 지금 너바 청약 백하고레스.
Mhm.
티엔이다 제탕아서 틴리게 고지 니츠텔라 테네다 총나 가서다 그 공자야 로보다. 아 제가 나지게 지 카야 나타 요바텔라 고지 나타텔라 지 가서 accept로 티니지 지하의 백해 첨부레스. 티니 요나 팽게리 마도 백다. 아 저라라나 이리지 티리랑 도바쇼 첨부도 나타메와다 범모 처음에로 같이 운영하고 티니 도바치 보이나. 티니 고 건도바 청야 소투야 백하보레스.
Yeah, so it's possible that this person, does have some physical problems, that it is a physical illness on some level. But mainly, as you mentioned, if a lot of it is about seeking attention, and especially if there's a lot of expectation on others, a lot of expectation to make her situation better,
Yes.
or to help her to recover from the illness, a lot of expectation on external things to heal her, make it go away, sort of relying a lot externally on, for her recovery. And there's a lot of expectation there. The best thing that can be done, or the best approach that she can have is, and maybe, if possible, maybe you can help to encourage her in this, to really work on acceptance, accepting her situation, accepting the illness, just sort of developing an attitude of, what may be will be, whatever comes. And also, if she's open to meditation, meditation can really help in increasing the capacity for acceptance. But if she doesn't accept, then if there's still always this grasping for external something, expectation, then she'll never be satisfied. Her desire will never be filled. And so really the best thing for someone in such a situation to do is to really turn mostly toward meditation, and to really work on developing a sense of acceptance with regard to one's situation, the condition of the illness, whatever it is. This is really beneficial. That's really the only thing that can benefit when there is this, so much investment, and as you said, seeking attention from others and a lot of expectation. Because as long as, somebody is kind of approaching it in that way, then there's never any, they never feel fulfilled. They're never,
Right.
yeah, they'll always be feeling left unsatisfied.
I know. Thank you.
어다 티가 나지 기테로와 당기 공슈와 나이레 다야 나타티 그 중공대야 당기 공슈와 나이레 그 레당 젠당 그 샘플남도 이런 거 여러와 티가 나지 기야 그 딜링 데 나타티야 그 트리지 고고요레다 지 초지 데나 로파 친테 너스 다 doctor 티고고요레 이나 특징을 단단한 나서 매번 소투고 말아. 제가 이 rank 샘기 주는 근데 공자야다. 제가 이 accept 봐. 그 디스지 지비나 되네. 그 냠들어로나 나서 지 스타트 위안으로 온 봐. 더모도 가시가시다 가서 비너스 뭐 보여와. 공수 냠냠 친구요래. 되게 되네. 제 참에 안 내봐도 보고 나기도 단단한 매키고 단단한 지 소소 love the ko thandara me ke nasa kan me wasoya ro ji that me be ke nasa kan me wasoya di khaboro wa korosti ti ga le de ji ta dun konro sabi gore nga de me ti ya tag me do si ro wa da member ti ya bo tag me do nurse to ya bo tag me do konro sa na ti na do bo tinda ko de ji nasa chawar chi wala dor du shu na nasa chawar chi wala chechen 양 자전양 이부로 살아서 변하다. 아니 생각좀스나 강다양 게 지 익셉치야 냥년치야 근데 비 토라야 되지 멤베 다야 멘데야
And so, you know, as was mentioned before, you know, there are these different categories from which the various types of illness arise. You know, it could be karma, it could be conditions based on, you know, like a specific, like temporary conditions that have come together. But, you know, there is often this tendency to have complete expectation externally that somebody's going to solve your illness or cure your illness or help you. So we have a lot of nurses here in this group.
Yes.
So there, as nurses, you guys know, probably that probably you run into a lot of patients who have a lot of difficulty just accepting their condition or their situation, and they put a lot of expectation on like the health providers. So if they don't, if it's not working immediately, they get angry, you know, so then there's all this expectation, like, you know, give me medicine now, like, you know, help me now, I need to get better now. And then there, you know, of course it doesn't work that way. It's often a slow process. And so then when they're not getting, you know, what they want, then they blame, you know, the doctor, they blame the nurses. They say the doctor isn't taking care of me, the nurse So it's really important, you know, there are two things when we're confronting illness that are very important. One is this acceptance, really accepting, you know, what the situation is, just having an attitude of acceptance. And then two is, you know, practically seeking what needs to be done, you know, seeking some help, some medicine, some treatment, but without too much expectation, you know, also with this attitude of acceptance at the same time.
And there's a huge amount of drama, always drama. And I
don't know what drama in Tibetan.
It probably doesn't exist.
Yeah.
We Americans are terrific at it.
Exaggeration.
Right.
Yeah,
actually,
exaggeration and drama.
Actually must be, you know, someone ill or sick. So really should do is not looking the negative side. Yes, maybe negative side, there may be pain, might some difficult, but really when they get sick, when they have difficulty time is the time today, you know, or I lie, you know,
I'm
so
alive.
really special, you know, and also this past, okay, thinking about what we did, you know, good things, remind, okay, I did a lot of done, so my job is finished, or I study is finished, you know, and also now I keep going down a practice. So really it's difficulty time is as much as possible looking for like positive things. So yeah, also they said, I think what just said, I don't know.
And the 37 Bodhisattva practices.
Maybe they said, then also the part on it. Really special.
Yes, you mean Junjo?
Yeah, Junjo.
I'm sorry, no, and the Bodhicharya Avatara, it says that, you know, every time when we breathe out, if we breathe back in, this is incredible. This is so amazing. It's a miracle.
And also this Tugon Sanya Lane, 대장 때 원소에 쌓친 머리 정도와
And each time we go to sleep at night, if we wake up that morning, again, it's a miracle. It's extraordinary. It's really something to be amazed by and to really, have gratitude for.
Right, so we look at 어때와 배낭가 다비는 뭔가 힘이 거는 힘으로 열어와. 되는 것이 오파다 되는 처음에 힘으로 열어와. 되니다 가서 되게 마시고 배고 사천보래 sam보다 되지. 근데 요 위는 되는 가서 주를 가서 strength, energy로 레벨이 와있어.
Thank you.
Oh, so he said, and it's really true, when we go to sleep, sometimes we just have this expectation that we're going to wake up the next morning. There are a lot of people who actually die in their sleep. They go to sleep and they don't wake up. There are some who, suddenly have like a heart attack. They breathe out and then they that exhale became their last breath. They don't breathe back in again. And so it really is amazing. Each moment that we're alive is something to really have a sense of real gratitude for, to recognize how extraordinary and precious it is, and to have this kind of mindfulness or to be mindful of this can really bring a lot of energy, a lot of strength, and sort of fortitude to the body and mind.
Thank you.
Do you have some more questions and comments?
Yes, Drupon, I have a question. When a chronic ailment appears and you have it long enough so that you have to accept it, does that mean that you should not try to seek any more medical help?
Yeah, right. And so, yes, I said before, yes, you take the medicine, yes.
Yes, no, it doesn't mean you shouldn't give up taking medicine.
We have both. But sometimes the difficulty time we pain, so then we worries,
When we're in pain.
or like not only worry, because some may like angry, and also like really kind of reject. We don't like, I don't like this sickness. Yes, of course, everybody don't like the sickness, right? So that kind of situation is, I think, still no matter. You said chronic pain.
Chronic, that means
very
no. Then that the June me ba the gadina dra rogamare.
Right.
Gadin yore young dra the nata kashe daya yoroa nata kashe daya yomare kashe young gadina the zero yoba down zero the mepa rogamare. Nda lakare.
Yina yanko tindiji yubi na yanko. This did not tell us handle chiala strength to go. Yina ko accept roji or care roji samina, but not the yori, yina yang, with this not a chung yorwa, but that not on the dujare, taya mendo, taya yor mare, ta be massive wikism, simply telling us non energy strength, meva chagres. King Nini Carsenata, get on as a tag Mariseati, go. You the cigarette, 100% permanent diameter, 80 marism. Benacha Shavina, Tatarong, Yamendo, Uchi, Wondo Javina, Benata, Tedlepersi, Oina, Nana, Hiriorwa, in a Beneta, Lama Momboji, Yamanagdoa, Tini, Pejo, and you can move on with the Luina, now, how do oh, that can do. In a young coach that you are than the cancer is chicken hit you, Dr. Shigri, Yamato Yomari, bendawa chi ni ma ro tengi ma ri lam na ya ko tha lo do wa
So it is, in this acceptance, there should also be courage, like a courage to face or confront whatever the difficulty, whatever the pain, whatever it is that, and that then gives you strength. So the acceptance should also bring strength. It shouldn't be an acceptance which has a feeling of defeat in it. So for instance, if, there's the attitude of like, I'm sick, this is a terrible illness, I'm never going to recover, it's just hopeless, what do I do? And then one just falls into a state of despair. And then that really saps all the energy and strength from both the body and mind. So also the thing with chronic illness is that, even though there might be, and I might be wrong, I'm not sure I understand chronic, and it means like you're not expected to recover, right? Yeah.
It means it's ongoing, yes.
Ongoing.
It's not terminal, it's chronic.
Chronic, okay.
Right.
So like, it isn't that, for instance, we should just expect, and he was maybe speaking more in terms of both chronic and terminal, that, we shouldn't really, even if we're told, oh, this is something that's going to be ongoing, this is something that's never going to go away. It isn't actually ever the case that that's like 100%, that it's permanent, that's definitely the case. Look at the examples of many past masters, leprosy, for instance, which is, you die from leprosy. And yet there are examples of like Lord Jigten Sumgun himself, who cured leprosy through meditation, or Gelongma Tenzin Palmo, who also cured herself of leprosy, and many other great masters who have had horrible, terminal, terrible illnesses that would result in death, and they've been able to cure or recover from those illnesses. And also, many times we hear people who are diagnosed with maybe even like, stage 4 cancer or something, and they're expected not to survive. They're expected to not live very long. There are even some who really recover, or they are able to, really, there are many cases which turn out to be very different from what people have been told about their illness. So, yeah.
but we take the medicine and meditation. Yeah, and you do the practice lots and ginger too. So.
Yeah.
Thank you.
May I ask one question related to this very briefly, I hope? Bon, and all of you. How would these illnesses be connected to one's karma? And would they in fact be the clearing out of karma that you're experiencing in this lifetime?
Dani Leila penalty legi not sayona dani Leila gande drawa yopa dang karsi not mungi yona dani lady dark dogreve
Let Hagrava. In a Jeta theories on the late in a teeth not the huge channel you can then a moji later tage jan la bidwa. In the mook lay in a teeth short chamber which tage jan the winner. Then a chip penangaton natandoji mangoya a sabzapchina, Matungo Mare. What coronavirus in the attack, and that's a subject I imagine, as goes the grower. In a young as a subject in go Marawa. Tina good condition, Gian Chadioris. In a template of the lay you winner, Tine Chikungo cigarette. Chundantirwa, in a young, that could lay the Tabar Chivala, Tangihuana Yerita. Ko bene 곰자야 잠님기 구냐 틴디게 토르치비나 텔레창도 그러와 텔레지 매소는 팽야로 들려래 다직 레드 효침보 요비나 텔레 삼상직 매사비나야 펜도 매거스로 들리는 거와
Yeah, Tatari. Tessa. So he said that, so I'm not sure he fully answered the first part of your question, but anyway, you can ask again if not. But he said, first of all, he said definitely it purifies the karma through experiencing the illness, the karmic illness, and going through the illness that can purifies the karma, but also depends on your attitude in the midst of that, or how you bring it onto the path. And then he said that, so it's interesting, the karmic illnesses tend to be much stronger. So they tend to be sort of a strong illness. And so there's the strength of the illness from the former karma, but then often, so there are two things involved. There are the conditions and then the karma. So in some cases, if the conditions aren't present, then like the karma won't ripen at that time. So like the conditions being, for instance, like with coronavirus, if you or any contagious disease, if you're very careful, then you can prevent, contracting the disease. You may not catch the illness, but in some cases, when the karma is very strong, even if you right, yeah. So, but on the other hand, then on the other hand, if you don't, if you're careless, if you don't really take proper measure or care to protect yourself, then you can contract the illness. On the other hand, sometimes in the case of karmic illnesses too, even when the conditions are such that one really takes all of the necessary precautions, they're very careful, they protect themselves, and yet still they get the illness, they contract the illness. And so, so there are sort of these three possibilities. And and then it, when there is karma there, sometimes it can be such that karma is so powerful that, it doesn't matter like what the conditions are, one will get sick because of the karma there. And then to purify the karma, this really is assisted through, say, meditating in the face of one's illness, or practicing well with the illness, developing love and compassion, meditating on love and compassion. And then by bringing that into the experience, then the karma there can be really completely purified. But generally speaking, these illnesses that are karmic illnesses tend to be pretty strong and pretty stubborn, in that even if you take medicine, it's difficult to recover often, even like the medicine won't work or have potency.
The karma purifying so the kara you go lana there was all karsenda and lelo yomarwa lelo yomare mato be ki so tindi jaung be kala naung be kala tene ji so teletene tene ko ji be gawano ji komji di nye so yayandi ni natandayandi ko jumewa jmewa tiji mares ko tene leji sayores tindi indu ko ta tengle pe chance sambeke ji rangola kargotsna tiji kawachi kumya yang shengola tene ji nasa teletene simjen shimbala nagi yorwa tene 我他也不轻松，他身体心吧，就可拿呀可差，对吧？差不多年可拿学，是吧？他身体心吧，俺那就蛮难学，上吧。天天给个逻辑呢，天天当我呢就个迪巴西亚的国际，雷西亚的迪卡马雷西亚的，天天把张马当强个要啥哇？你那个雷西亚的，他那老那雷西亚的个 permanent 早那嘛，是个雷西亚的个 every moment，阿门当强路要的是。
So it isn't necessarily easy to purify the karma, but there's great potential there if one can practice, especially in the face of really intense pain. So in the experience when one is really gripped by intense pain, again, to have this acceptance, to even feel gratitude, like through this experience of illness, I am purifying my karma, and to know, it is not as if this has arisen without causes. It is not as though this has arisen without conditions. I can be certain about that. And so then one can actually have a sense of gratitude. Okay, it's happening now. This is the purification of karma. This is purification of negativity from former lives. And especially, if one can maintain, some composure of meditation in the midst of that really, painful experience. So there's that. So practicing from one's own side or in relation to one's own experience of pain. And then when in the experience of intense pain, one can turn your mind toward the pain of others, and really have a sense of compassion for other beings who are in this position of struggle and pain and difficulty, who thinking, oh, here I am, like just racked with pain. And yet there are so many sentient beings who are suffering in the exact same way, just as I am. And there are even many who actually are in much more severe pain, that are suffering much worse than I am. So then in that experience, then to have the aspiration, may this pain of mine alleviate the pain of all beings. May it take the place. May it be may I become the representative in this pain for the pain of all sentient beings. May my pain take the place of the pain of all sentient beings. And then in the midst of that experience, having that really pure aspiration, then it really has the powerful, it's a very powerful potential and ability there to really purify the karma. Also, it's important to note that karma is not like a permanent thing. Karma is always in flux. Every moment it's like going up and down. So it's not as though it's like this solid permanent thing.
Right. So interesting, so similar, so everything is depending in the mind. So I say karma and up and down, right? So which means, so now it's today we're talking about say. So say, okay, I'm say, I don't like, why I'm say. So this table, this attitude, and then the karma like a bit, more stronger. Like a bit negative karma create, like a bit higher. So because I don't like,
because you're pushing it away, rejecting.
Because of lack of acceptance.
Right, not accept angry. So sometimes you can blind, I said you're like
blame
to also doctor, that's wrong. I don't like this medicine, what it is, or not take care of that carefully, and whatever reason, they're angry. And then actually even the sick, but probably sickness cannot purify karma. And on the other hand is I think, I'm okay. I'm safe, I'm okay. So I said before, exactly before what I said. So that's kind of attitude. Your karma is gone, negative karma is gone. So they now take it.
And then through that, it is actually through the experience of the illness itself that the negativity is being purified.
So thoughts are things.
Yes.
Thoughts are things.
Thoughts have
What's
action.
the connection? Oh, okay. Karma. Yeah.
But why?
I'm sorry, I missed that. Could you?
Somebody.
Thoughts are things.
They have, and then the clarification was that they have results.
Oh, okay.
To the ripening of, or that they.
Yes, no.
Yeah. Then they penanamto yang ding ngopo rawore, chala things rawore.
Really, Carson, that's how much it was. Get me get some beach dice. That's what give us here, big us here, Jorwa. Depending, everything is the moment. Concept.
Well, yes, it's what determines virtue and non-virtue. Everything really is the mind, because even when it's actions that I'm sort of, because he didn't fully complete the what he said, but then he said even with with negativity that is created with actions of body and speech, it's still the mind that is behind it.
Right.
The intention that determines the outcome.
So also one hand is if really practitioners maybe there's no suffering. Even though somebody try to make suffering, but still cannot make suffering. So like for example, in the cultural revelation, so that time is that, the government, whatever this, beating them, lamas or teachers. So looks like beating them makes suffering, right? So this physical really beating, and many people know hairs or, tell the errors or, so looks really, really difficult, just terrible, but the practitioner's mind, so they always enjoy. Thank you, that's really good, so just come, please, okay, thank you. So maybe I done something, today's opportunity to generate bodhicitta and to my opportunities behind the karma.
To purify the karma.
So this motivation is very, very powerful too. So one lama, I think, I know actually my relatives. So like 10, 50 people beating them like hours. And the stop, he's just checking the cloth, he just walk and happy. So, and he looks like no pain at all. So later on, and so he explained, he said, yeah, I accept, I'm not angry at all. Those people more I have compassion. They have really not ignorance and the government power. They know really just no one choice. So I'm more compassion those people. So I always thinking about not create the negative those people.
So what
future, not
he
happening negatives future. So always I pray there. So then he said he's beating them a lot, but he's no pain. Another one is also he tied up rope, right?
rope.
Very, very strong, like one side, maybe 5 people, one side, or 5 people. They tie up. But every time,
So like the rope was tied around his
something,
hands,
and up there.
and they with
Pull.
people pulling on each side, like almost to like probably cut off the hand actually, if ordinarily.
So then every time just break, no
The
matter
rope
how
would
strong
break.
rope breaks. So that times actually this I was there. So my uncle asked him, so why you have like magic power, or you meditate like a yidam deity, or you do some mantras, what you do? So he said, no, I didn't do anything. But I really painful, he said. Extremely painful. So that time I remember my root lama. So I see actually. And then there's like looks free. So that time maybe they break the rope. So this mantra or faith and devotion, like that is extremely powerful. So there can, but we is always doubt,
We always have doubt.
So that's why not get result. So for someone, if 100% or then it happen, so.
Just to make sure I understood, he was your uncle
Mhm.
and he had ropes here and he was being pulled by 5 people each side
Mhm.
and it was painful. But the minute he remembered his mama,
Mhm.
he was able to, the rope broke away.
Right.
And just remember, he didn't have a vision, he didn't have.
Yes, good question. So he has vision. So he remember that he's root lama. So then he sort of like vision, just kind of see, even though like he's rough, lama's rough.
Lama's roof or
Rough.
robe. Okay.
So
Yeah.
Saw it.
at that moment, he just kind of released, just no
The
longer
rope
pain.
broke.
So he don't know how to break the rope, but then
He didn't know how the rope. He didn't know that the rope
Too
was
much, too painful.
breaking. But he experienced freedom at that moment of the
And he was an
pain.
ordinary person or he was a Rinpoche as well?
he's but same thing. Yeah, he's Rinpoche too.
A Rinpoche.
But we are Rinpoche, everybody. With the nature.
I know.
So we thinking, so I said always in thinking, sometimes you think, oh, this is Buddha he can do, or this is Rinpoche can do, but no at all. That's no different, okay? So we have Buddha nature equally.
There's a difference in number of meditation hours.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
You have to gain the hours.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's mind is powerful. So, so then actually one hand is if you can do that, and then not big deal our sickness, no matter difficulty sickness, but can cure. But I said this morning, or we can stop death or stop sickness. No. But one hand is just possible too,
Miracles are possible, sort of in brief.
But why was your uncle tied up and like pulled?
Right.
So this was when China.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
kind of
Total
story is
genocide.
like unbelievable, just I think really this country, I think sort of not unbelievable, no experience, and never ever see your life.
Yeah, we've
even though
never
even though you didn't see the eyes, but even though you never heard those are happening. So during the cultural revelation is doesn't matter you down or not. You like Chinese or don't like Chinese, doesn't matter. Okay. Monk for example, monastery. Okay. If the monk like someone like a bit the kind of leadership, or yeah, of course, lamas, rinpoches, and also the logo, there's some education.
Anyone with education.
Anyone's education, or wealthy, or whatever
Wealthy.
this like more rich.
Aristocratic.
And those are is like beating them,
Many killed. Many were
tortures,
killed.
like
and tortured.
so also particular lamas like town to town, so today, beating them this location, where's Chapulu? Okay, tomorrow is that this Bros Bidon, or then this next is Zafar Hill, like that every day. And then this yelling, screaming, oh, you did bad things, you're stealing, and you took all.
What is that called? There's the name for the public denunciation.
Yeah, you did like all took the people's money, this, that, and they killed like hundreds, thousands through that they killed.
Millions, I think.
Yeah, I think, I mean, so, but that's a situation is, but only the medicine or only help is their karma and accept. So that's I think Dalai Lama one time his speech is if this condition. So if even the people not die, maybe become crazy. But he said Tibetan, no one's become crazy. The reason is Dharma. They know the Dharma and they know the karma. So many people, like particular in the monasteries, lamas, not angry, the Chinese government. So, but also the angry, not helpful, So that's okay. So but so I saying this really is this morning I said that Dharma is very important, So when the difficult, if say die, the difficulty situations, Dharma really support, provide, make some happiness, right? Okay. So now we are going to Elizabeth, there's talking about Elizabeth, we can read it. So first we can do English. So Jamdu or something.
So perhaps we can read through. So now we're up with the Medicine Buddha Sadhana, and
Sure.
yeah, if you're able to. And I'm just going to, I'm sure Rinpoche will get here, but I am just going to go ahead and let people know that this version of Medicine Buddha is probably different from what you're used to because it's in Sambhogakaya form. So it's not the Medicine Buddha in Nirmanakaya form with the 3 Dharma robes, but Sambhogakaya, and it is a sadhana from Nuden Dorje.
Is there a way to get this?
I think may have been shared with you through via email. It's
I can put it right here.
yes,
Oh, you're right.
it's already there, but it's you should also have I think the access to the PDF.
There's a link,
Oh,
right.
It's in the
I
web
can put
page.
it here right now.
Thank you.
Anda di ko DC yang ko takatang so longer sadhana ke ju chiang ro chi di ne yang ko da de
So, there are a lot of other sadhanas that medicine Buddha sadhanas that could be used, and also a longer one that we thought about maybe using for this occasion. But the thing that is nice about this is that it's very concise. So it's very short and easy to practice, when you don't have as much time. So we'll read first the refuge. Oh, it was up there, Isaac, and then it disappeared.
Yeah.
The medicine Buddha, so everybody has it.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah. I'll put it right.
Oh, there it is. Thank you.
Mhm. Here we go. Yeah, that's the last page though. That's it. Thanks. So Namo, to the medicine Buddha, embodiment of the three roots, I and others go for refuge and generate the mind of awakening, so that all wandering beings who have been my mothers may attain Buddhahood. I will practice the yoga of the medicine Buddha. Namo, medicine Buddha, embodiment of the roots, I and others go for refuge and generate the mind of awakening, so that all wandering beings who have been my mothers may attain Buddhahood. I will practice the yoga of the medicine Buddha.
Ati shul atude siada di kitanga da jeremde ngutu yores.
So
Da kitanga to namju ke jeremdo de jingutu unge kabla an machi je da choji patinde ina omada amada gundale ana hom pe omosobo shudo sarawada omosobo shudo ha se ya. Yorita machi je la ne ji omosobo shudo sarawada omosobo the Hans Yore Inayata, di Sadandi, project, do, Indu, Tene, say at it, stated in Jatan, Tondadi, or that Jivaris.
So here, then, as you see, the first thing that it says is, through the unfabricated or free. Another way to say it would be like free from elaboration or free from proliferation. So in the Tibetan it says Tudel. And this is kind of taking the place of but it's the same thing. So ordinarily in the generation stage, you begin with, in the more extensive or elaborate sadhanas, first you have the Amrita Om Gandhiri Om Amrita Kundale Hana Hana Hungpe, and then following that you have the Swabhava mantra Om Swabhava Shuddha Sarvadharma Swabhava Shuddho Hang, and so most of the sadhanas, most all of them, you have at least the Swabhava mantra, but here you just have So it is kind of condensed into because kind of that because it's sort of an abbreviated sadhana.
That Jatandi Sayatila, Kantongu Yorisana, Jatan Matata, around his Simni, Hideri Nibu, Songu. Jatan and the Umasobo should the server, the Masobo should the Hans, Tia, Tini. jikta rank simni de jik ngos thong de wa no samgo ta simni ngos thong se ya da khande jiri skyubi na kita thanda ro ji ordinary le ro wa ordinary no wina ta na so ji kana ambong nga ke la teni chi yu nga ro ta nga so nam da manda nam to sambo nyamba ta tende lo ji ta ko ji jikendi ke ko number to ko mambo ji yor wa ti ni da sa nyam le chi de be ka la ta tini chi ga la ta ji la on be ka la tini rank simni ko na te ko ra be se wo se chang ro ji se hang ro ji nam to to chang ma pa ordinary ke nam to ko da to chang ma number to ma chang ma ye so ma chang ma chang be na cha sha wi na tini ji nam ga la tini be timba to chang ma ye so na tini na wa ro ji yu wi na te be se hang ma sha gro wa o da ten na yi ke ji nam ju na be ta na timba ma bon thai di wi na 나와 양 통고 말와 보다 대나 얘기 지 남중 가서 남토 먹고 지 요리 가서 다 가서 히데와 이님고 요리 뒤네요 남토 그 되는 배 남토 배다 거라 배 continuation there they 좀 센터를 되네 통토 구경 말와 뒤에 가서 추운 염내 지인들 내가 체혀 차 니나 라고 요나리 근데 어머서 보셔도 서거들 뭐 보셔도 라고 요나리 라베 까면 되네 남도 어떤 생도지 다 손, 이해 손으로지. 테네 거란베 히데와 이보다 원에 산지에 기더니 다금 시에다 이행아이 다니고 다 강다 강의는 면 테네 산지 셈도지. 대양 산지 셈다랑 셈 예메와 어떻게 이제 테네 세와라고지. 다 너무 세와라고지. 고고고래스
Recording in progress.
And so, so when we recite the syllable so what does this syllable mean or embody? It is sort of the meaning of the true nature of mind, or mind's true essence, the Tathagata Garbha, the Buddha nature, and it is seeing or recognizing that true essence. So ordinarily, when we have a lot of our kind of thoughts and emotions and the discursiveness that is kind of swirling about in the mind, and there's identification there, and a lot of this is also in connection with stimulation that occurs based on, the contact of the five sense doors, making contact with the sense objects, and then it sort of like perpetuates this like unending kind of stream of proliferation, conceptual proliferation. And so when we have a lot of discursiveness, when the discursiveness is present, we can't recognize that essence. It's there, but it goes unrecognized because the obscurations are present. So it's important to understand this in the context of Dharma practice, that when we recite the syllable or we recite the Swabhava mantra, that then we're dropping into, it's like the clearing of the clouds, it's like the dispersing of sort of the conceptual film, the obscurations that generally prevent us from seeing or connecting with or recognizing that innate essence. So then as the clouds disperse, it becomes very bright, very clear. There's just vivid, wakeful awareness. And so that's how we can think about it, really, is like just like with the clouds in the sky, when the clouds in the sky disperse, and then the moon becomes very vivid and clear. We can see, the moon in it's a vivid clarity. And so it is a similar type of thing that is happening here. As long as those clouds of proliferation, discursive proliferation are not cleared away, then all we see is delusion. We don't see the wisdom or the essence that abides there, that is always abiding there. And so that's what, the important point of these initial mantras at the beginning of the generation stage, whether it's or again, whether the Swabhava mantra. And so it should have the effect of dropping into awareness, the clouds of discursive thought dispersing, and just having a very wakeful, vivid, recognition of awareness itself, of the natural state. And in this way, then your own mind and the mind of the Buddha merge. You merge with the enlightened awareness, the enlightened mind of the Buddha. And so there should be this quality of vividness, vivid clarity that arises from this.
Right. So we are ordinarily, so how many people here, there? So every person is different. So different means, I'm not talking about physical different, but I'm talking about mentally. It's different,
different dispositions.
Not same concept, same thoughts. So then we have Dharma practice, okay? Just sit down, and then we said, today, like here, which is right? Then so then you imagine, or whatever all the concepts not follow. All the concepts gone. If no longer concept there, so that time is all same. Right, you understand? All the same.
Equality. Everything
Equality.
is in the
Or
state
you
of
are
equality.
Or you are the Lama, or you are the Buddha, or whatever, you are the Sangha, the same level. So should be practice, So
This is what should happen through practice.
right.
Or we should practice this way, should be practiced.
Yes, you can. You can.
We should practice this way if we can. This should be the experience of our practice. if we
Right.
can.
Ta ko nyamle maji bi ne khala ordinarily karsina nga so mujawuna tharis mujayoris mandaris nga so ota ko mujula ko mandaba mujayoris ko sem to chi pa yo maris yina yang nyamle chi bi ne khala ta thanda do ina sla bi khala ta individual nam to sama pa yegra sta kisi ye to bi na then also some equal chipaji charges. That they are in Kolama Lamnada, Sanjay Lamnada, Kandarian, Sanjay Dangas equal charges. Or that equal parts of Jerem Zawara.
So, there are, but as he said, everybody is different. We all have these different personalities, these different propensities, different concepts, different thoughts. The experience of our minds are different ordinarily. So if you have 10 people in a room, you have 10 different experiences, 10 different realities based on the dispositions of those people, because there's that difference. But when we're practicing, and when we recite, for instance, in this case, in the generation stage, when we recite the syllable or the Swabhava mantra, it's like all of that falls away the shell of difference or personality, the shell of the discursive diversity, just there's this parting of the clouds, and really that essence is the great equality. Actually, everyone is the same in that essence. So there's no difference. Everybody becomes equal, whether it's the Lama, whether it's the Buddha, whether it's, all of the disciples practicing, we come to that same state of equality with each other. And this is really the root of the generation stage. This is what happens when we all become the deity. We're tapping into that equality, which is the true essence.
Today, that Tishula, Tangazodi, Simi Tine, Matsushi Devari Tine Scenery, Gajeta, Bomba Scenery. Ta Chikanta Seton Sondun Jobi, Simi Tineyan, Tangaz Hayung, Benata trained Owina, then Sakari Umbre, then the medicine Buddha, then Chason, someone of the
And so this is what is referred to as the true nature of mind, or the essence of mind, which is the union of clarity and emptiness, or the union of luminosity and emptiness, which is in fact, that's what the deity is. That is the nature of the deity. And so that when we practice the medicine Buddha, that's actually the true meaning of the medicine Buddha.
The union of clarity and what?
Emptiness.
Medicine Buddha, Roji Gombe Gablayan, Jiglelo Yomaris, Lam Sanforan, Jingaran, the medicine Buddha, no visualize Chian notice, Kalikawa Yorwa, Ina Telayan, Tapir and Bosomi
Visualization, Chayala. And so when we're meditating, we're visualizing the form of the medicine Buddha. And it is not actually, it's not easy to visualize. It can be difficult, but there are three sort of main methods or aspects to visualization.
Yes. So sometimes they theorong as a chita. Maumba problem you are love the net, visualize realities, Lila Wonderwilla Ungarwa. Yina Yakon, just like Gumdutis, Lila Hoshida, your matters.
Okay, so I think I got this, but if not, you can let me know. In the future, maybe when there's a problem, suddenly say the visualization might become easy, but when you're actually practicing the deity, it's maybe not so easy. Is that wrong, or is that right? What did you, if Chikchinagari? Oh, now I understand. Yeah. So when we're visualizing what might happen in the future, the problems that might come, we're imagining the future and we're feeling anxious about it, it's easy to visualize. But when we're visualizing the deity, it's difficult. Yes.
In that Tapisum de la Cariori Slavina, that Tapi Tambo de la Yiji Seva, Kitantella, Tapisum de Calana, Yiji to Seva, Luigi to Zori to Mother. Reta Yiji to Seva, Luigi to Seva. Ambu Sevas.
So there, these three methods are first, the clarity of the object as mind, like clarity of the mind. Then clarity.
Second one is Ambu Seva.
And then the second one is clarity of the or clarification of the like object of the faculties, or the door, this doors of the senses. And then third is the clarification or clarity of the object of the body.
다 당보트 가스는 당가 저 사디 하마오나 근데 지카텔라 데베나 도지 마르카스 산지멘이라다 근데 이제 도 차트는 도 힘모트는 도 다치 당가서 돼平常 따사다 고군다는 거 당. 고바로 지 마토위다 산지 모스다 가서 다 통용요 말와 이나 양당가서 지 산지게 메리스 보다 건다고 이나데 당간다고 이나데 레몬도 조라데 지 디스지 틸리제 양든 세야 베갈레 카포라와 테마세드 가르고고요 라비나 근데 이 유스바드 보다 나랑 근데 산지 메라이 사만도 다들 보고요 당권 휴인바 요요요래 가서나 저 남도 매베 까블라 근데 메디슨 보다지 예르메 요마리 또 미와 히존게 토네 저랑 게 고미야보자 토고요나레 메나레 양 저랑 요르와 요바다가 아유 잠바는 거지 근데 오다 가베다테 산지멘지라 공무소미 잠바는 거지 이제 고고리스
So when it comes to visualization, usually when we think of, say, having a clear visualization of the enlightened form of the deity, or like in this case, medicine Buddha. So we're using, say, the image of a statue or Tanka. That's what we have to go by, of course, because we don't see the medicine Buddha directly. We haven't seen the medicine Buddha directly like a person. But to really, that can sometimes be difficult, to build, especially in the beginning, to have a fully clear visualization in the mind's eye, just as the medicine Buddha appears depicted in the image or the Tanka. So what it means then, this clarity from I kind of want to take out the word object here, which is in the Tibetan, but just like clarity through the of mind, or from the object of the mind or the door of the mind, is that we're sort of having this confidence, this thought of, I am the medicine Buddha. I am the medicine Buddha, and really feeling that, because actually it is so that is how it actually is. Just as was said, when we are not obscured by all the clouds of our discursive thinking, when the concepts and proliferation have dispersed or cleared away, we see that our essence is indivisible from the essence of the medicine Buddha. So we actually are the medicine Buddha, whether we meditate or don't meditate. That is our true essence.
Good or not?
Or if we visualize well or don't visualize well, we can still have this surety, this confidence that I am the medicine Buddha.
So the Vajra pride. Vajra pride.
Yeah, the Jatanda to the Yadam Hai Islam and
Yes, sometimes it's referred to as divine pride in the context of the generation stage, and yes, it can be thought of as the same thing.
That Yatan price here the Yadam like price here the la or Yimba like Yimbanda Wajila, Parala Waris. That new price here the main budget Yimba Sambia Chaki Islam.
So we say pride in the context of divine pride, the pride in our true essence as being no different from that of the deity. That is actually a kind of pride or confidence that comes from recognizing something as it really and truly is. It's not the afflictive emotion pride, which is actually taking something which isn't actually to be something, he just said literally to take what isn't to actually be. And that's the afflictive emotion, pride. And so then the next one, which is clarity from the perspective of the sense of faculties. This this is speaking to the visualization itself. So for instance, also the way we can build kind of the power of visualization is through having an image. In this case, an image or a picture or tanka or something of the medicine Buddha, looking at it for a time, just really taking it in by gazing at it, and then closing the eyes, and then building the visualization in your mind's eye, and then opening your eyes again and really taking in all the details, every aspect of the deity's form, and then closing your eyes again and building that image in your mind's eye. So all with all of the aspects there, what are the ornaments, how many hands, how many faces, what are the implements in the hands, what is the color of the deity's body, if it is a Nirmanakaya form, having all of the specific attributes of the Nirmanakaya form there. If it is Sambhogakaya form, having all of the attributes of Sambhogakaya form, for instance, the 13 adornments or the aspects of the Sambhogakaya form. So the 8 types of jewelry or ornamentation of precious gems, and the 5 types of silken garments or clothing. And so in this way, you really build step by step through detail the visualization of the deity's form. And so this is the clarity of, through the door of the senses.
Karislavina ta luji to say was a luji to say the takoji tombo roji. La labuyo. That's in tombo the kalabuyo resulu. Teenage. Not ordinarily teenage. Not so marita le tombo wina. Not to Tamaji, Tonya Tama teenage. Go. Le tombo tonan roji. Imba, Pumo imba, some imba, and the roji. 통구요. 제인도 다티 마인바 단다디 굴류주의 세종도 테네지 베나 포탐지 제렌세 모탐지 지투드마 숨도테네 지 고지 플라타 함오게 랑인바 당 베나 쭉 생전도 의미나요. 단노 지텐도 의미나요. 단단 맞아도 지 타마다 사당 노당 타당다 소로 통거 티니양 마인바 티네게 뭐네 현감인바 넘버 타데바 아직 넘버마다 이렇게 나오면 오지 통거스
Then there is the purity or clarity through the object or the door of the body. And this is actually really kind of referring to a pretty high level, a pretty high level of development or realization, which is where, we really cease seeing beings as ordinary. We no longer see beings as ordinary. So ordinarily speaking, or as beginners on the path, we have this kind of impure ordinary perception. We look out and we see beings as male and female and sentient beings and such. But then when we really start to see beings as pure, then we start to see all males as Chen Rezig and all females as emanations of Tara. And so all beings really become male and female deities. So this is the purity of the content. So we talk about the purity of the outer container and the contents therein. So the contents therein are sentient beings, and the outer container is the environment, the place. So that means, the place, ordinarily, we also see the place as ordinary. It's an ordinary place with stones and dirt and trees and ordinary things. But when we have pure perception, we really see the outer container, the environment, as a completely pure Buddha field, a pure realm.
So we maybe 20 minutes break.
A bio break is.
Bio break.
Bio break. Bio break. Yeah, we have high tech now. Bio break.
So what time did he got the kind of komso yang so that yeah.
Maybe 7.
Yes.
So we can reconvene here.
Maybe 6:55.
So in like 15 minutes.
Okay,
Okay.
6:55.
So then we'll take a 15-minute break. Thank you.
Om Bendo Sado Samaya Mani Balaya Bendo Sado Dinamba Edi Jade Me Baba Asudo Kayo Me Baba Subo Kayo Me Baba Anurada Me Baba Sarvasudi Me Baya Sarva Karma Susame Sisangya Guru Aha Bhagavan Seva Dada Bharadra Mani Musa Benze Bhava Mahasamaya Sadhu Kini tiro penata tanging hyuri Jitang Joan you can soon go Kini ta Natale and the tower is the Kashi Shui ta Kandis Taliban road Sangrua. Okay.
So when he mentioned before that Kyopa Jigten Sumgan cured himself of leprosy, or he overcame or purified his illness, he's going to talk a little bit about how that happened, what came about.
That's time that's at the Kunavica la Kotatisti or not a Dubondo Chavicala. Mutusunyam to Digio Samara, Timothy Beketiniji, who Chisomina, this hard along some table we sorry. And that Jatanko to Mashuado, contagion of you Samara, Tinido Chichi Kanda, depends on Koran, Jibundo, Chadi Saris.
Karate machine gingana sa ola chigurebe or
Tashila Mashindo.
Mashiwe kapa.
Tamahili Papsena, Tashin,
The mission ba.
Mishimaji in a taco. In that potato, Chaton Sat,
So during the time when Jigten Sungman was very ill, he was in a very, he went to a really isolated place. He completely isolated himself and did not come near any people because leprosy was extremely contagious. So much so that, even after somebody dies, they would make sure to bury the body under the earth so that there's no contact. Also, like even coming into contact with the body can end up being contagious. And so Jigten Sumgan went to to a place where he was fully isolated and with fully prepared to die.
Kimbi that Tambo Konekitaji prepared the Wiji. Roya Koji, Tongo yourself, support your boys, somebody to be in you. Tiniji down at Nick Corona, Chirense, Kuji, your list, Chirense, Kuji, Tombo, Drupon, Chirense, Kuji, Diodis.
Tired.
Marino Tap, Diodis.
Tired.
The David Galatini, Tojaki Jajalatini, Ninja Simewa. Sintian Ninja, Koran can not have to talk, and some kind of Ninja signal to Nijik, Jena Yorwa. Tinijik, Ninjeti, Ninjeti, Permissivita, Chimbu Shuji Jenny. That Kanta Jetanta Songri, Ninjeti, Koran, Jetan Savi Namtala, Nimasomdo, love your Ina Kota, Marico Namtana, Nimasomdo, love your Ina Yanta, and the Koran Savi Namtana, Kanda. Tambo Koran Ninja Kiwi to the person, Sintian Zoya, Chilo Relia Tango, Shopino. Sintian Chilo Tango, Sinti, no met, so. Tinny Bonda Sintian to so, now roll the Kandayan 8 hours, no. Tinny, Tinny, Neo, Sarah, Tinny, Teenage ninja, ninja down because the Koran now and over it. Simjian Mongo, Kamba the Marchlo, Tonsman, Tinido, Solis, Tinijon, Kanda Yanjita, wake up, the contact ninja down because that's a kind of child is.
So in any case, Jigten Sungam was fully prepared to die, and he at that time, and his body was actually, he was really starting to show signs of approaching death, and he had an image of Chenrezig. And at one moment or one time when he was looking at this image of Chenrezig, he just spontaneously there arose in him this overwhelming great compassion, immeasurable compassion for sentient beings. It was just incredibly powerful, unlike anything he had felt before. And in his life story, it is said that he remained, it took 3 days, that he to recover. It was through the power of that meditative absorption of compassion, that then he actually ended up becoming fully healed from his illness. And then there's the secret life story, or Namtar, which says it was in a period of about 8 hours. So it says, meaning the way it's described is like from the time, when the nomads would like send the animals out
In the morning.
And then until they returned in the evening. And so the story was that, he was in a state of meditative absorption on great compassion. And then he had this sense that there were all these sentient beings outside of his cave, outside of his dwelling. And then he rose from that samadhi, and rising, sort of waking up from or rising from that samadhi, he realized that his body was completely healed. Chenrezig part of Yoruba.
Oda dini da zo karsina da dini da nga zo tanda di getang zo da like go tindi bombi na tanda jerem pa nga zo medicine da wina kini kote ni pasam jime chabo yore yes.
And so in this way also, the power of the deity's form and the generation stage is incredibly powerful. It really actually can be much more powerful than medicine. Or something. Medicine Buddha la piove.
Rita sa kar gomna da jerem gomba tela ni pat yore es da obla no.
Oh, okay.
Medicine da mari la imbe.
No, medicine rawor more powerful than medicine Latvian.
Right.
Okay. So he said, if one meditates, the generation stage, meditating on the deity's form is incredibly powerful, like medicine, more powerful than medicine.
That's all karsina. Not to jerem yabo do je komdi yona. Tene koji like rangi chagrwa. Tene ngala per tame be hebo nga nagido nga sagido nga se ni kale dono gos nga se zimbat. Tangi konhyuwa pena nga to yamena pena majegla lama jang someday ando wamba someday atendo ta hando tene komdi wina tene rang da zimbi ni chulu se at kale koji zimbat hello yosades.
And so again, the generation stage, meditating on the deity's form is extremely powerful. So it also really transforms this habit of being self-absorbed or self-centered. So as ordinary beings, there's the strong kind of condition or habituation of self-grasping. Zimbadiyang Mena. And so then when we meditate on the enlightened form of the deity, then this dispels that grasping. That grasping becomes is sort of melted by the power of the generation stage. And through meditating on the generation stage, the negativities accumulated through the door of the body are purified. And likewise, through the recitation of the mantra, then also this recitation of the mantra is also incredibly powerful. And it purifies the obscurations of speech, or completely purifies the defilements accumulated through the door of speech. So this is, through the power of mantra is really inconceivable. And so this also has this incredible power, potency of transformation. And then likewise, inwardly, the meditative absorption of the mind, where, and also in particular in the dissolution, with the dissolution, the completion stage, there, when meditating on the unwavering essence, which is the indivisibility of vivid luminosity or clarity and emptiness. And when this is also then brought into the generation stage, the meditative absorption actually becomes the union of the generation stage and the completion stage. And so as he mentioned before, that there were many lamas, in particular, there was also a period where many lamas were becoming doctors and that, or they were practicing sort of medicine and that, but the main way, that their kind of healing power occurred was because these lamas had so much experience and practice, like practicing a particular deity over a really long period of time, accumulating many millions of mantras, and then accomplishing the deity, that the power of their mantra becomes very potent. So when they kind of blow on the medicine or recite mantras over the medicine, consecrate the medicine through the power of mantra, it really becomes imbued with great power.
clay.
Oh, and not just medicine, but actually like clay, earth, even earth, just like like a lump of dirt. Really?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
nice dirt. Okay.
Nice dirt.
Yeah,
Very clean, pure dirt.
it is clean.
And water.
And water. Yeah.
So actually, this is really is more powerful than medicine. So interesting. Also, my experience. So one time, my mom is sick. I think stomach. So I think we nearby. There's actually this sort of one West medicine, whatever Chinese medicine, and one doctor is like Tibetan doctor. They took both, nothing helped. So the mom told me, okay. So this one, there's a treatment. Okay, you go, just you go get us something, this the blessing, the dirt, whatever that's.
Blessing dirt.
So there I went to there. So I went to there, they give me luck. Even though they clear, right? They give me luck. Tiny, like really just little bit. I thought, yeah, that's little too tiny. That's clear, no, that there's. So okay, so that he give me, then I give the mom immediately. He's okay.
Wow.
Clay,
Clay.
just there are no
Clay,
substance,
clay.
anything. I just clay.
But it was blessed.
Blessed. That's so.
Wow.
So the mantra is, but we say loud,
There have to be a lot of repetition.
Actually, this is a lot of, the blessing. So also this morning, I forget that this another doctor, like we call Lama. Actually, this is in Burma in the northern India. So there one Lama. So he don't know medicine, anything, zero. He don't know anything. But the local people so come to him very sick, almost he dying. Okay, I'm dying.
There was a local person who was very sick, almost
And I
dying,
said,
who came to
please give
him.
me medicine, please give me something. So he just is sort of like, oh, I can do some blessings, but I don't have the medicine, I don't know anything medicine. He said, please give me, I die, please give medicine, please give me medicine. So actually he's brought us doctor, but not there. So then just he looked there, this hundreds different medicine, right? So then he just, okay, which one? He thought there's the big pills, so like a bigger one, he choose, Then he just pray, the mantra, they give him. His next day,
Recovered.
he's fine, recovered. So he come, okay, you are very, very kind of high doctor, you know amazingly, But interesting, so sometimes, but that's not all the time. Okay, so.
Is it untold?
No, I think these are his relatives. So, yeah, that's a mantra, and also this another Lama. Actually, he come to the United States.
Oh yeah.
So we have another mentor. He retreat. What is that? 8 years or 9 years? There's only one mentor recitation. So there he with, I think just one rock there. So some reason the one day, I think maybe he used whatever, the rock was very hot. That's interesting. So why this become hot, So then he sort of more, he fed and believed, so real sun. So then he go out the retreat, so someone, any kind of sickness and problems, he touched,
With this rock.
raw. That's it. So also I think Garcian has knee problems before, but he did cure. So anyway, so that's a raw. So that's just raw. So that's just in mental, that's much power. Actually, he comes with the United States.
Yeah.
Setting right told me that there's people and that
He would. Yes, I heard that. I actually heard, I don't know, this is also, I guess, telephone, right? I heard he put it in his mouth. Or maybe he blew on it. He must have blew on it. And then it got like burning hot. It would became burning hot from the mantra. Yeah. No, somebody that came to Garchen Rinpoche Center in Arizona from Tibet, a Lama from Tibet. Mhm.
So that's what mantra. But same time we say many times.
Three won't work.
Okay. So now we do English first.
Okay, so through the unfabricated, non-conceptual display of compassion, magical emanations that are the empty appearances of awareness arise as a lion throne with lotus and moon cushion. Above that is my own mind in the form of a deep blue home syllable. By sending out and reabsorbing light rays, I become the enlightened form of the medicine Buddha. Cobalt blue and in Sambhogakaya form, complete with all the ornaments. My left hand holds an alms bowl filled with medicine, and my right is in the earth subduing mudra, holding between the thumb and ring finger a spring from the all-curing medicinal aurora plant with leafy foliage and fruits. Covered in silk and jeweled necklaces, I am resplendent like a fish leaping from water. At the heart level inside the Avaduti, at the center of an 8-petaled chitta lotus, is my consciousness, the Samadhi being, in the form of a hum, endowed with the 5 wisdoms and engulfed in its own light rays. Around it circles the mantra, radiating light which makes offerings to the victorious ones, then clears away the 424 types of illness afflicting sentient beings and vanquishes the ailing pains of heat and cold, while generating love for wandering beings. Recite the mantra.
Okay, so we back to first page. ganze mabe ganze raja samung gade so yada be ganze mabe ganze raja samung gade so yada be ganze mabe ganze raja samung gade so yada be ganze mabe ganze raja samung gade so adiyada be ganze mabe ganze raja samung gade so adiyada be ganze
Gante Raja Samanga Desoha Hajayata Wambe Kanze Be Kanze Ma Be Kanze Raja Samanga Desoha Hajayata Wambe Kanze Be Kanze Ma Be Kanze Raja Samanga Desoha Hajayata Wambe Kanze Be Kanze Ma Be Kanze Raja Samanga Desoha Hajayata Wambe Kanze Be Kanze Ma Be Kanze Raja Samanga Desoha Hajayata Wambe Kanze Be Kanze Ma Be Kanze Raja Samanga Desoha Hajayata Wambe Kanze Be Kanze Ma Be Kanze Raja Samanga Desoha Hajayata Wambe Kanze Be Kanze Ma Be Kanze Raja Samanga Desoha Hajayata Wambe Kanze Be Kanze Ma Be Kanze Raja Samanga Desoha Hajayata Wambe Kanze Be Kanze Ma Be Kanze Raja Samanga Desoha Hajayata Wambe Kanze Be Kanze Ma Be Kanze Raja Samanga Desoha Hajayata Wambe Kanze Be Kanze Ma Be Kanze Raja Samanga Desoha Hajayata Wambe Kanze Be Kanze Ma Be Kanze Raja Samanga Desoha Hajayata Wambe Kanze Be Kanze Ma Be Kanze Raja Samanga Desoha Hajayata Wambe Kanze Be Kanze Ma Be Kanze Raja Samanga Desoha Hajayata Wambe Kanze Be Kanze Ma Be Kanze Raja Samanga Desoha Hajayata Wambe Kanze Be Kanze Ma Be Kanze Raja Samanga Desoha Hajayata Wambe Kanze Be Kanze Ma Be Kanze Raja Samanga Desoha Hajayata Wambe Kanze Be Kanze Ma Be Kanze Raja Samanga Desoha Hajayata Wambe Kanze Be Kanze Ma Be Kanze Raja Samanga Desoha Hajayata Wambe Kanze Be Kanze Ma Be Kanze Raja Samanga Desoha Hajayata Mabe Ganze Radha Samangade Soa Deyata Wambe Ganze Be Ganze Mabe Ganze Radha Samangade Soa Deyata Wambe Ganze Be Ganze Mabe Ganze Raja Samengade Soa Deyada Wambe Ganze Be Ganze Mabe Ganze Raja Samengade Soa Deyada Wambe Ganze Be Ganze Mabe Ganze Raja Samengade Soa Deyada Wambe Ganze Be Ganze Mabe Ganze Raja Samengade Soa Deyada Wambe Ganze Be Ganze Mabe Ganze Raja Samengade Soa Deyada Wambe Ganze Be Ganze Mabe Ganze Raja Samengade Soa Deyada Wambe Ganze Be Ganze Mabe Ganze Raja Samengade Soa Deyada Wambe Ganze Be Ganze Mabe Ganze Raja Samengade Soa Deyada Wambe Ganze Be Ganze Mabe Ganze Raja Samengade Soa Deyada Wambe Ganze Be Ganze Mabe Ganze Raja Samengade Soa Deyada Wambe Ganze Be Ganze Mabe Ganze Raja Samengade Soa Deyada Wambe Ganze Be Ganze Mabe Ganze Raja Samengade Soa Deyada Wambe Ganze Be Ganze Mabe Ganze Raja Samengade Soa Deyada Wambe Ganze Be Ganze Mabe Ganze Raja Samengade Soa Deyada Wambe Ganze Be Ganze Mabe Ganze Raja Samengade Soa Deyada Wambe Ganze Be Ganze Mabe Ganze Raja Samengade Soa Deyada Wambe Ganze Be Ganze Mabe Ganze Raja Samengade Soa Deyada Wambe Ganze Be Ganze Mabe Ganze Raja Samengade Soa Deyada Wambe Ganze Be Ganze Mabe Ganze Raja Samengade Soa Deyada Wambe Ganze Be Ganze Mabe Ganze Raja Samengade Soa Deyada Wambe Ganze Be Ganze Mabe Ganze Raja gade so hai de yada me ganze ma me ganze raja samen gade so hai de yada me ganze ma me ganze raja samen gade so hai de yada me ganze ma me ganze raja samen gade so hai de yada me ganze ma me ganze raja samen gade so de yada me ganze maha me ganze raja samen gade so de yada me ganze maha me ganze raja samen gade so de yada me ganze ma me ganze raja samen gade so de yada me ganze ma me ganze raja samen gade so de yada me ganze ma me ganze raja samen gade so yada me ganze ma me ganze raja samen gade so de yada me ganze ma me ganze raja samen gade so de yada me ganze ma me ganze raja samen gade so de yada me ganze ma me ganze raja samen gade so de yada me ganze ma me ganze raja samen gade so de yada me ganze ma me ganze raja samen gade so de yada me ganze ma me ganze raja samen gade so de yada me ganze ma me ganze raja samen gade so de yada me ganze ma me ganze raja samen gade so de yada me ganze ma me ganze raja samen gade so de yada me ganze ma me ganze raja samen gade so de yada me ganze ma me ganze raja samen gade so de yada me ganze ma me ganze Raja Samunga Dezoa Deada Mekanze Mekanze Ma Mekanze 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 Raja Samunga Dezoa
나 기타 단단한 총아 이도 이야다 원매 간제 간제 노아베 간제 란도 상공과 대해서 하셔야지 나도 뭐 이야데 일단 드리게 세야도 드리 세야도 고요세요.
Dire. So
데이터데 놀라고라 한데 데리
so with the mantra itself, with the Tairiyate, this is sort of like it is so, or it is this is dire.
데이터데
Dire.
데이터데 데리
Dire. So this is.
이다 옴배 간제스 옴 세야데 다제다 옴 세야디 에고 다제 코랑라 다 가르사가 나 공고로 차디고데 스팅디 제타 옴 세야디게 다 제타 이게 소묘데 옴라 아체 나로치 되네 마세야지 고거지도와 오다텔라 이니 옴라 고리 다티인데 대양네 제 옴텔라 다 제타 마보 총고 요사리 텐디 이나다 디나지 고 송토 세야 되네 고트 레고르치 송 나로치 톡 아세야 되나지
Ku kare. Ku kare.
콜레고
Lekor. Korkordi. Tini sum Ma,
Naro.
naro, tu.
Ah.
So then we have the syllable om. So in the syllable om, this is like the beginning or the door of the mantra. Often it's at the beginning of a mantra, and contained in the om are the three syllables a, nar. Oh, naro. Sorry, sorry. The mantra like. So then there's the naro, which is like this little sort of, it looks like a flying bird, kind of, if you look at the Tibetan on the top. And that has the O sound. And then ma, which is the ma in there is the little circle on top of the naro, which it looks sort of like a flying bird. And then the itself, it's is the syllable itself, which is there. So that all together makes the syllable om. And there's much that is complete, contained within the syllable om, but all of the qualities of body, speech, and mind, enlightened body, speech, and mind. So the enlightened body is the ma, like the little dot, or he said like the zero, which is, it might be hard. I don't know if you're following me, but if you look at the Tibetan, there's like a chunk there above the mantra that has, in English, that has like 2 lines on either side. So put that aside. And then the first letter following that is om.
Can you say the number of the letter from left to right, please?
I mean, it depends on what you're counting as a letter, but sort of like maybe 1, 2, 3, and then space 4. So it's number 4. That's the om, and contained. So what he called the zero, which is like the dot on the top, which is, it's kind of hard with this font because it's actually the thing that looks like a zero should be up a little higher, but it's like mixed together with the naro. But that is the essence of enlightened body. And then the naro, which is the flying bird thing, is the essence or contains enlightened speech. And then the syllable itself, which is beneath that, which is is contains enlightened mind. So it's enlightened body, speech, and mind.
The back and the say the letter. Man or like was man's. Then Mahabe consider man chimbos.
And so then you have bekense, which is essentially like medicine. So it's medicine, or this medicinal healing quality. And then the maha means great. So it's like essentially medicine, great medicine.
What I think is all Carson also Tendiji Kiko Tandajita, medicine lawyer bella. Tiungurwa Bana Jig Bananum Bake the one, Shiji the one, or Pacha the one, that Tendiji coaching Chandra in the one of the relation in that time when he the man Labna Halewaji Marwa in a Tian to make Tendiji.
And so what is happening with this recitation of medicine, great medicine, is that this is the medicine that cures the ailments of the afflictive emotions. So it's the medicine that cures the 2 types of obscurations, the obscurations of the defilement or the defilements of the afflictive emotions, and the cognitive obscurations. So this is the medicine that has the power to fully cure these ailments of the 2 types of obscurations. So that's when we say So the obscurations of afflictive emotions and the cognitive obscurations.
Yang Tangila Vana Yiri Masutini 101 Tangas of Tiorwa, what then now Yikitini, Bena Magic Kitini, Carsenata, Nato Tangi Huorwa, Tatola woman to Judge the chick, Chang Yoris, Yang Bear and the Jake, Yang Judge Chang Yoris, Yang Bear and the Jake, Chang Yoris. The last la person completely Chanyom Kundoji.
Gare Raja Samangate. And so what also it does is it has so we talked about the 4 divisions of the 101 different types of ailments. So the first Bekansei purifies or heals the first 4th of the 100, the first 101. The second Bekansei purifies or clears away the second. The third Bekansei clears away the third. And then the rest of the mantra then clears away the 4th, which is all of them together, all of them together. And sometimes actually there's a 4th Bekansei in some traditions. People might know. But not here.
Teniti Kitati Carsenta Terita, Tonda Parts, Catulavina, me say Tombo Becantini, Tene me Chimbo, Menji Gerbo, say a place.
And so as it says, then medicine, then Radza is actually like
Okay.
Medicine, great medicine, the king of medicines. But Radza is Raja, which is king. Yeah.
Tinitini, Tiki Carsenta, Yang Tabar Pades, Sunduta, Tik, Tinijita, Beni Chatan Taro, Taratani, Comalia,
Yang
top
Tabar Gare.
Yang Tabar Pades, and that Pas and that kind of Sanji Como top to Grace, top to Grace. Say I did more than Samonga Sohas.
So then the Samangate Soha is sort of like, means something like rising above or rising to perfection, rising to elevated to complete purity. And so that is what sort of this medicine has the power to do, is to elevate above the ordinary, to rise to complete perfection or purity. Pop, which is like Papa, for instance, means Arya, like noble. That's that word that is being used as Pak, which is like risen above the ordinary, literally. And so then following the mantra recitation, there's the conclusion that and the dissolution, or the where we have the completion stage. So we can recite it. My body dissolves from the bottom up and disappears into the empty awareness luminosity of the home. The non-conceptual spacious expanse of Dharmakaya is primordially unobstructed. Allah, Allah.
Couple minutes meditation.
Again, I arise in the enlightened form of the medicine Buddha as I set out on the path of activity that is the spontaneously accomplished indivisibility of meditation and post-meditation. May there always be temporal happiness and goodness throughout space and time. All the virtue accumulated by myself and others who are three doors, I dedicate to the expanse of great awakening. May all sentient beings without exception dwelling within samsara and the three times reach the state of Buddhahood together.
Hey. La la, completo. La la ho.
Okay, so we'll do the short dedication. Thank you so much, everyone on Zoom, for joining us and for your participation. In the prayer book, page 24 of the prayer book. By the virtues collected in the three times, by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate root of virtue, may I and all beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment. May the teachings of the great Drupon Ratna Shri, who is omniscient, Lord of the Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara.
Hey.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
One thing, Drupon.
Thank you, Drupon.
Yeah, thank you so much, Drupon, and thank you, Drongnir, and thank you, everybody